Aloha, it's Matthew, and I have Sam's Beatbox for March of 2026. It is their fifth anniversary box, and I'm finally on the Bead train. I'm just going to speed run through what was included in the box because many other designers and jewelry makers have already gone through the box. So I finally decided to subscribe, and I'll tell you more about why I made that decision. But several other people have already gone through the box, and on the 20th, it was revealed by Sam's Bead Shop on their channel. I'll see if I can link the video. I haven't ever linked a video before, so I'll see if I can figure that out. If you're curious about what's on my nails, I did a video yesterday. I don't know the timeline of when these are going to post, but I wanted to continue with my nail content and also add in some crafting stuff. So this is brick wall with solar unicorn skin on top, and I think it looks pretty stellar, and I think it goes with the box. That was the whole plan. So now this is the first time I've used lighting for crafting versus doing nails. So I hope it works out. I see there are some shadows, but I'll try and work with it and see if I need to adjust later on. And I still have not figured out my microphone situation. In yesterday's video, I said that I went to go film my first YouTube video in quite some time and realized that my microphone had a lightning plug, and since then I've got a new phone. Okay, so let's go through the speed run through what's in the box. I did buy a couple of the add-ons since I was ordering after the subscription. You have to order, I think it's by the 9th in order to get that month's subscription. And I ordered this March box on March 20th. So the star of this show are these red jasper pear brio that are top drilled. And they have, I think, such characteristics. Like there's some cute pairs that I have here, like PAIRS, that I could do together for like earring sets. And then there's some singular ones. This one, try to get that focus. This one and this one are just really cool. Like this one's got some, that's clear right there. I don't know if it's coming through on the, there's like a clear void right there of some quartz or some sort of inclusion there. And then this one's got a lot of black on it. So those two I think I would use individually. And then there are a couple that I could put together in like earring sets. And then second on the list, and those are 13 by 18.5 millimeters, 10-piece strand. This peach moonstone, I think it was supposed to come on a strand, but mine came in a bag. It is beautiful. It is 6 to 7 millimeter, and it says an 8-inch strand, but like I said, mine came in a bag. This has the most gorgeous flashes in it. And I mean, like, look at this one. I think the camera's just showing them as shiny. Oh, there we go. I got to figure out how to better show those off, because some of those ones with the, I don't know if that's like chatoyancy or if it's like labradorescence. I don't know what family it falls into, but the light play on those ones are gorgeous. Next up, we have Hessonite Orange Garnet Faceted Rondelles, 2 by 2.8 millimeters. You get a 7.5-inch strand. These ones, look at that. Look at that faceting. These are going on the earring set that I'm going to make today, because I think that as your head moves and as you just go through your day, these would catch the light so brilliantly. There's that guy. Next up is a Czech glass fire polish drop, and you get a mix of turquoise and red silk Picasso. Excuse me. They're 6x8mm. You get a 12-piece strand. I'm still trying to find out what the focal beads are going to be for the earring set that I drew up last night. It might be these ones over here, but we'll find out when I come back and make the earrings with you guys. Next up, Czech glass Druk round turquoise Picasso. These are 8mm, 15-piece strand. These are glass, but they have such a beautiful Picasso coating on them. They almost look like turquoise. And to match those, there is a Czech glass spacer rondelle in the turquoise Picasso, 3mm. It's a 100-piece strand. Like, you're going to be able to get plenty of spacer beads out of that. And in fact, that's one of the things that I bought a second strand of, because I love this color in seed beads, and I think it'll work great in other projects. I have it in like every form of size you can get in Miyuki seed beads. Excuse me. Next, Czech glass fire polish round in turquoise bronze luster. These are 4mm, and that bronze luster on them, 50-piece strand comes in the box, and I ordered an additional one, and then on my most recent order I ordered 2 more. I think I want to try and take this one and the 2 more that are coming in the mail and attempt a Russian spiral something. So that may be coming up. We'll see about that, you guys. And then we got Czech glass daggers in a peach red mix. These are 5x15.5mm, 20-piece strand. The mixing on this glass is just breathtaking. And these are going to be the bottom dangle in the earring set. And now that I'm looking them on the camera, I think I want to go for those 2 right there, because they look to be the most matching. Ooh, or these ones with the different... I still haven't decided, but this is definitely going to be the bottom dangle on the earrings. I'm just not sure which color. I think it will depend on what other beads I choose for like the main central post. But stay tuned for that. We also have Czech glass English cut red silk bronze Picasso. That's such a long name. These are 3.5mm, and it comes in a 50-piece strand. I love this shape. I used to subscribe to a different bead box, and it just came with the same bicones, crystals, glass pearls in different sizes and different colors. And Sam's Bead Shop, the folks there, they actually work with the people in the is it the Czech Republic now, or Czechia? And they work with the makers over there to special order a lot of these beads. So you're not going to find some of these designs and some of these washes. Like, these ones are specific to this box, and you're not going to find them anywhere else. The next thing we have are, the Czech glass Saturn Red Dream Mix Copper. I think it's got a copper wash. They're 6mm, 25-piece strand. These are going in the earrings. Look at, there's like a mix of the glass colors and then a copper wash. They're just beautiful. And the shaping on that, I don't think I've ever got a Saturn bead in that other box. I can say for certain I don't own any other Saturn beads. This is the only strand I own at this point. And I will get, I don't know, I have this white dish. I see other beaders use a white dish when they're trying to show like the color of stuff, but I think I'm gonna have to work on, got some dust and stuff on that. I think I'm gonna have to work on my lighting and just getting these shown to you guys because I want to convey just how beautiful some of these beads are. So then this is the fire polish, Czech glass fire polish round in peach luster. These ones are 5mm. You get a 30-piece strand. Look at that. The luster on those. And this colorway, the way that it like almost changes like from peaches to pinks to gold. Oh, yeah. Yeah. A lot of my own personal jewelry has cool tones, blues, silver, and just recently I decided I needed to get more warm tones because I have like a half and half wardrobe. I have half warm clothing, warm colors, and then half cool colors. This is that same color. So it is Czech glass twist barrel in the peach luster. They're 5x9mm, 18-piece strand. A lot of the things that they order, the folks at Sam's Bead Shop, when they order, they can get, this is special to them. Like this is, again, one of those ones you're not going to find anywhere else. And when they order something in 2 different sizes or shapes like this, it just makes the designing capabilities, it just gives your possibilities just so much more. And then in the Czech glass fire polish round, this is their rainbow Picasso mix here. 6mm, 25-piece strand. Love that. Love the Picasso treatment on that. Again, like the Miyuki beads that have that Picasso treatment, I have almost every color you can think of. In fact, I also ordered the Tucson, it's the turquoise Tucson mix in the size 8.0 from Sam's Bead Shop. And I think all of these in here are Picasso style beads. That's just like the flecked coloring on it that makes it almost look antiqued or aged. And that is that's all the strands that came in the box. Next up, there is a Czech glass flower power green silk mix and red crystal mix. These are 18mm. You get 2-piece set. These are super cute. Kind of got a little, where's the hole? Kind of got a smaller hole. I don't know if, can you see? Oh, there it is. There we go. So I have another project where I am working on, see if I can pull it in here without knocking it all over the place. I'm working on a mala with all these blue beads, and then the, that's not labradorite, that's the other larvacite. This stuff in the middle is not going on it, but this whole strand, so I got some Czech glass beads. I love this little trilobite bead. I'm gonna be stringing that, and then with that labradorite, come on, let's get that to flash. This labradorite is gonna be the, the center, oh, there it goes. That's gonna be the centerpiece instead of having a tassel. That is beautiful. I got that on Etsy from a seller in India. Outlet Gemstone, I think, is his store. A lot of my gemstone pieces that didn't come in a box like this came from him. So you'll see those in the future, I'm sure. Czech glass royal diamond turquoise 10x19mm, 4-piece set. That's these guys here. These are super adorable. And these could make the cutest little fast earring. Put a little dangle here, put a head pin through it, put an eye pin so you can dangle something, and then maybe a top and bottom framing bead, like, you know, something small, and then put your ear wire on. Done. You got a set of earrings right out of the box, right? Those are really cute. Where's my, oh, I was like, where's my 4th one? There it is. Okay, so next thing up is a Czech glass fire polish barrel in turquoise, 8 by 11 millimeter. You get a 10-piece set of these. These might be the main large bead on today's earring set. I still haven't figured out which the ones are going to be in the center. I just have like a drawing of the gist of what the earrings are going to look like. I haven't actually worked them yet. As you can see, everything's still on their strands. Next up, we've got hematite faceted, Czech glass birch leaf in a turquoise bronze luster. This did come in a bag, but I ordered a second string. And the string was long enough that I took the ones that were on the bag and put them on the same strand. So this is like the halfway mark. So what came in the box was that, and then I ordered a second one because these are just adorable. And I think I'm going to make a stranded necklace using a lot of these Czech glass beads as accents. And then this one might be the pendant. Haven't quite made final decisions on that one either yet, but it's brewing in my brain. Next up, we've got those hematite faceted rounds in matte metallic mix. These are synthetic hematite, but they do have like kind of the weight of hematite. 5.5 to 6 millimeters, and it's a mix of colors. It's a nice neutral that, breaks up. Some of these are, I wouldn't say bright colors, but they're definitely vivid. No, I wouldn't even describe them as vivid, but they're rich colors. They're very, they're not a muted palette. Let's just say that. Then the Czech glass flower of life coin in matte garnet copper. This one's 19 millimeters. You get one piece. I think that's going to be the pendant for my necklace. And I had meant to have a light source, and I don't see one within reach. This is transparent. Nope, I can't get any light behind it. It's not transparent, it's translucent. So it looks matte, and it's just gorgeous, that wash. And then when it catches the light, it just glows red. Glows like scarlet. They're not scarlet, it's a deeper red. Really pretty. Amazonite faceted freeform ovals. That's these guys. 12 by 15.5 millimeters. You get a 3-piece set. I think these would make a lovely earring pair and then like a bracelet focal, or earring pair and necklace focal. But I want to wear them, so I'm going to figure out how to get all 3 of these on a piece or two, a set for myself, because I think that they're just gorgeous. And coffee jasper smooth barrel. These are 12 by 15 to 16.5 millimeters. You get a 4-piece set. These ones I think I want to do on a knotted style bracelet, or maybe as like the big accent beads on a necklace. But that hole is pretty small for my plans, so I'm gonna get the bead reamer out and open her up and see if I can get those on a thicker cord. Maybe a leather. Ooh. Okay, I just had an idea. We'll have to come back to it. Okay, and then you also get a metal components set here, which I think this amulet is really cool. See the multi-holes on that? You could really do a lot with that. I think it's definitely gonna be the centerpiece of a necklace with, I think I want to do a 2-stranded necklace and then do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dangles, and then 1, 2, that would be the other 2 strands going up the other side. So that's what I have in my mind for that one. What else do we have here? Let's just dump those out. We get these 2 aster flower links, 19.5 millimeters. It's a 2-piece set. They again have a lot of holes. So I see like a chandelier earring or some sort of multi-connected item. And all of these are in bronze, or the antique copper plated. made in Greece, lead-free. These two are Halo teardrops, 10 by 16.5 millimeters. You get a 2-piece set for that. Again, remember where I said you just add a dangle? That could be the dangle on a quick earring set right there. And done, right? Add an ear wire, connect those with an eye pin, you're set. That is what comes in the box. Well, you know, I did say that I ordered those 2 strands and then a second strand of that additionally. So most of that's what comes in the box. Now, Rachel does design, Rachel is Sam's sister. She designs a seed bead mix quite often to go with the box. This is the 8/0 size, and I ordered that. You get a 21-gram tube. So this whole tube is in that little guy there. And then they often create a trio of soft flex wire. This month was garnet, turquoise, and copper. So I picked that up as well because the box comes mainly with beads and stuff. Very rarely do you get stringing material. I saw, looking through all the old boxes, I saw one box that had, I think maybe it was some sort of cord to do like a knotted, something like this bracelet, right? And this one I just made yesterday. So there's also a guy at Sam's Bead Shop named Jesse who does a lot of macrame and knotting and inspired me to try out knotting again. I was alive in the 90s and I used to make these all the time with hemp, and so I had to dust those skills off. And this bead that's was supposed to be central is not very central, and yeah, so I got to work on that. But I was thinking that these, which is the same bead as this one here, these could make a very lovely knotted cord bracelet, but with a dark brown instead of the black hemp. So if you'd like to see that, let me know. All right, so I don't think I've said it so far yet, but if you're liking this video, feel free to like it, subscribe to my channel. I used to mainly do only nail stuff, but now I'm going to be doing nails, crafting, and bringing it all together. I am going to head into town real quick and run some errands, and then when I get back, we're going to make a set of earrings. So I'll see you shortly. Aloha, I'm back. All right. So I should have thought before I paused it to say that I'm going to insert a photo of kind of what I drafted up as a guideline, but when I made the first earring, I ended up making a little bit of a change. But here's that drawing if you want to take a screenshot so that you can understand if there's anything that might have better explanation in it. Okay, so this is the finished earring. It's got a little bit of every color in there. It's got copper wire, fun little dangles at the bottom. They don't have to always stay in order. Like, see the red flip forward, and sometimes the Saturns might flip forward. But I think the only change that I really made from the drawing is that down here, instead of having just the one dagger, I put 2 daggers on. So let's make the second, the other half of this pair. And I also laid out all the tools you're gonna need. Some wire, some flush cutters, some chain nose pliers. These ones are precision tips, but you could use just regular ones. They don't have to be the precision. I prefer bail making pliers. Up until recently, I never even used the round nose pliers, which I've been trying to use them more because they do have value and good uses, but mainly I use the bail making pliers to make almost all my loops. I've got a nylon hammer and a ball peen hammer and block. What is this thing called? Hammer block? Why can't I think of the name of it? It's the thing you bead on. I've got a file for the end of the ear hook to make sure that it is smooth going in the ear, no sharp edges. I grabbed a friction pen. This one is the 4-color one, so it's fatter than a normal one. But a Sharpie or something like that, you know, like the tube on here, you know, whatever. You could also use like the top of a nail polish bottle. Anything that's round and about that size. And it doesn't really matter what size it is as long as you use the consistent size between the two of them. So I have some dead soft wire here. This 20 gauge bare copper. And then this is half hard wire for the ear wire, just so that it can stay less pliable. So starting, I don't know, this is about, I cut about 10 inches and that gave me this middle piece, the 2 dangles, and then this left over. So if you're, you know, scrimping every inch of wire, then you might need to figure out, I don't know. I didn't measure it that precisely because I wasn't sure how much it was going to take to begin with. So I started with 10 and I maybe a little bit more than 10, and I still have, no, I must have started with more than 10. How long is this? Currently I have about 8 inches of wire, but this is more than we're gonna need for that one. So let's flush cut the end. If you're not familiar with that, you want to use the flat side of the flush cutters, not the pinchy side, towards the side that you want flat. So this is going to be the side that we're going to keep. I'm just going to nip off the very end, and I held it with my finger there so that I have the little piece. I'm going to drop it in my little bin there for later use. And then if you look, it's a, can you see? It's a flat flush cut. So then we're going to take our bail making pliers. This top loop, I used the smallest, which I think is a 2mm mandrel. What you do is you pinch between here. You don't want to feel the tip of it, but you want to have enough of a grasp on the wire that you can manipulate it. So I just roll nice and tight until the metal, until the end of the metal, the flush cut part, comes to the metal. I went a little far. It's hard to do this and explain it at the same time. Let me just start that again. I went too far. And this is another reason why I cut off a little bit extra, is that if you have little bloopers along the ways, no big deal. So smallest bail, or smallest mandrel. You don't want to feel the tip. Okay, so then we're going to roll that toward itself. Right there is where I meant to go. Sorry if focus is rough. It's kind of a P shape, right? Typically I would just leave my bail making pliers in the loop, and then what I do is I swing it around to where it can't go any further, right? And then I just bend that out to where I get a centered simple loop. And then I don't know why I started on that end. The other one I went from the round end first. Okay, let's do it again. Get plenty of practice, you guys. Sorry, this is my first time actually like trying to explain it in words rather than just taking it from my mind and making it happen. So I'm going to start with the largest mandrel. Same deal. You don't want to be able to feel the wire. So right in there. Okay. So I'm going to go around, bringing the wire to itself. And once we get around to there, doing the same thing, I'm going to spin it around and point it up. So we got a loop. It's a little bit open. That's fine. right? Now she's closed. Okay. We're going to be opening that later with pliers anyway to add all the dangles. So I like to make mine mirror images. That's just me being super, I don't know, that's just the way I like it. I like my earrings to mirror each other rather than be identical. So this part going up, we're going to string on one of the rainbow mix of the Czech fire polish beads, the rainbow Picasso, one of the peach luster twisted barrels, and then one of the turquoise Picasso drops. Okay? So at this point, I'm going to take, we want these loops to be parallel to each other, meaning this loop is going to be going the same way as this loop rather than this loop and going this direction. Does that make sense? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my nail right into that corner and bend it back like that. So this way, see, like from this view, you can see that the loops are going to run in the same direction. So at this point, we're going to cut off about 3/8 of an inch, about 1/2 inch or so. And now we're going to use the smallest mandrel and curl that little guy into a simple loop. And you can use your little part here in the middle to adjust it. You can use your chain nose pliers like so. Okay. And then you can also make sure that they're on the same plane like that. Right? That got a little bit tipped. There we go, centered that. There we go. And so the funny thing is I was using dead soft for this middle part, and I brought out that nylon hammer in order to hammer this and work hard in it so it wouldn't bend that easily. But here we are. I typically work mostly with half hard wire already. My fingers are dexterous enough that I can manipulate it, and then I don't have to worry so much about work hardening, especially on simple loops. But this is my first pair of earrings trying to explain to somebody else. But like I said, look how much excess I have here. I can set that aside for another project. I can make a couple ear wires out of that. Typically, when I make ear wires that don't have a bead on it like that, I'll make a batch of them in all kind of different sizes and then put them through my jewelry tumbler with shot, and that will work harden them. And then that way I don't have to use my half hard wire. But since I'm putting a bead on it, I can't put it in the tumbler, the glass bead will break. Okay, so let's get these dangles put on there. Oh yeah, because I'm gonna need this for dangles. So what I'm gonna do, sorry if this is gonna be loud to you guys, is I'm gonna take the very end of my wire, I'm talking like that little bit right there, and I'm gonna hammer it out flat. I'll flip it over. You just need that paddle to be wide enough that this little Saturn bead won't fall off. So you can test that out by putting your Saturn bead on. If it sits there, great. If you want it to be a little bit higher, then back the bead off and flatten a little bit more. Okay. You want a little bit more even. If you look on these ones, they have a little bit of maybe 1/8 of an inch sticking out, and I want them to be You know, they don't have to be identical twins, but I want them to be at least sisters. That's what we're looking for. And then you can use your file. See how it got a little bit misshapen? You can use your file to round that out. Make sure that there's no sharp edge there. Okay. See here? Here's another thing that I meant to do in prepping was I was going to have all of these ready except for one, but we'll get another chance to do a second one here. So from here, we want the paddle to be facing the front. So the loop is going to go in this direction, to go over this loop. So I'm going to tip the wire towards me. You can also use your chain nose pliers to do that if you like, right? And then I'm going to clip it with the flush cutters. Again, about 1/2 inch or so. And then smallest bail. See, and here's where I became to appreciate round nose pliers, is the smallest loop I can possibly make is that on this 2mm mandrel. If you get some fine round nose pliers, you can make a teeny tiny loop. Okay, I'm gonna make that a little bit more central to the post a bit. There we go. Okay, so there's one of them. And let's do that again. So we're gonna hammer out the tip, flip it, okay. I started going a little bit cockeyed, but that's okay. And then let's drop on a Saturn bead and see how it catches. That's perfect. And I'm just gonna file down these corners so that it's not sharp. Just like that. Okay. And then again, we're going to, I'll use my pliers this time. So I'm holding the wire here so the bead doesn't slip up the wire. And I'm going to tilt this forward. And you want to be sure that you grab with enough clearance that your pliers don't create tension or friction against that bead, because if you go right up next to the bead and then turn, you're going to crack your bead. Most likely you will crack your bead. Okay, so we got that. And let's get our flush cut about there. Okay, and you get rid of this hammer. Bench block. That's the word I was looking for earlier. Get rid of that hammer and bench block. We're done with that. Okay, so then let's roll on this one. Perfect. It's a little bit open there, and we want to make sure that it doesn't fall off the little loop it's going to hang on. So I'm going to use the little channels in there. Carrie Foscato taught me this little trick. She's on, I think it's Foscato. Carrie. Anyway, she's here on YouTube. She does a lot of wire working. And of course, if you're using your round nose pliers and you don't have that little bit to do it, just grab your chain nose pliers and just pinch that closed, that little bit. Even if your circle gets the tiniest bit, like that looks fine. It's the tiniest bit, not perfectly circular, but no one is gonna pull you aside and grab your earring and be like, excuse me, that doesn't line up. Okay, so now we're gonna open this loop. If you're not familiar with opening loops or like jump rings, you don't want to open it out like that because you'll never be able to recreate the circle. you want to twist it open. Since this is such a big one, I'm just going to hold it. If it's a small jump ring, you would grab a second pair of pliers and manipulate it that way, but this is a big one. Okay, so let's load on the beads. We got a dagger. We've got a Saturn bead, and I'm going to make sure that the opening is to the rear of the earring. We got the red dagger, Saturn, and then peach dagger. Okay, so then I'm just going to grab that and let them all get out of the way. I'm just going to twist that back to where it was. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so there we are. We're halfway there. So let's make the ear wire for this and then we'll be done. Okay, so ear wire. This is not my standard, just like basic ear wire. That's much simpler. I'll do a short video on that at some point because they're super simple, especially with the bail making pliers. So I'm gonna go with the smallest mandrel and I'm going to pinch that toward itself. And then this time when it comes and meets, when the wire touches itself like that, I'm gonna stop, but I'm gonna take it off entirely. I wanna leave it in that P shape. I wanna leave it like that. Typically, you would center that loop if you were looking for an eye pin or something like that. But in this case, I want to put the bead on. And then what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna grab all of this, grab my chinos pliers. And again, remember, I'm gonna leave a little bit of room there because if I were to grab it right up at the bead and bend here, it's gonna crack the bead. So I'm leaving a little bit of room. And I'm gonna bend that to about a 45. So you got your P shape and then a little bit more. That's, yeah, a little bit more. Okay. A little bit more. Okay. Yeah, that looks great. And then here's where the friction pen comes in. We're going to make sure that the opening here is towards the front of what our ear wire is going to be. Sorry if I went off camera. The opening is going to be toward the front of where the ear wire is going to be. So this is all going to face towards the back. So let's bend that. I went the wrong way, you guys. Okay. It's wire. It's fixable. Sorry, I was trying to look at the camera and do that. So we're keeping that forward and we're bending the wire backward. Something's wrong with my sizing. Okay, we can fix this. I'm gonna free this bead. Okay. And I'm going to find where I placed my roll of, there it is. So I got my half hard 20 gauge wire. Okay. And we just need a little bit. I don't know where my measurement went off the rails there, you guys, but something happened. Okay. Put that back away. And again, this is copper wire. I don't care if I cut a few extra inches. I'll set them aside for scrap pieces. I have I don't have it handy. I have one bin for silver and one bin for copper. With silver, I'm much more careful because, I mean, I bought it when it was expensive and now it's really expensive. But I do want to use it. I don't want to just hoard it. I bought it to be used, right? Okay, so I got a flush cut there. Let's try this again, you guys. Smallest mandrel. Bending it back to touch itself. Okay. Dropping on our, this is one of the English cut red Picasso beads. Okay. And then we're going to take that and tip it forward. You want this to be going up 45 degrees or so. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Then I'm going to take my pen and we're going to bend over the pen. And the way that I did it was I went until the back of it was running down like the front of it is. Right? That's how I got the same hoop there. Okay. Let's hold these together and then that way I can get them to match. So what I'm going to do first is get my bend right there. And then I'm going to clip. I'm holding them here together. Again, if they're ever so slightly off, I mean, if you're selling your jewelry, yeah, you want to be a little bit more precise. But if this is going to be a gift, if this is for you, no one's going to grab your head and like shake your head one way to the other and one way to the other and compare them back and forth, right? That's just not going to ever happen. So let's pull that one a little bit more to meet the friend. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to, before I'm all together, I am going to use that file just to round off any sharp edges. Right? And you can feel it with your finger. If it's sharp, you're going to feel it. Again, this is something that, oh, okay, good. I think we are just about there. This is something that if you put it through a jewelry tumbler, you don't really have to worry about this step because the shot will smooth it, round it, polish it, and work harden it all at once. So that's why I like to make a batch of them. But this one I made a little bit special because, like I said, I wanted to add that bead. So we get those and line them up. And okay, and they're matching. Okay, and then what you'll do is the same thing with opening. This is just like a jump ring. We're going to twist it open. And then I'm going to add my earring to make sure that it's facing front like I want it to. And then we're just gonna close that ear wire. And voila. Let's put it, that finger might be too fat. Put them here. And there we go. They're super cute little boho. They're kind of autumn colors if you're a warm color person. Yeah, and that touches on almost every single color in the box. And I love it. If you like these earrings, like the video, make a pair. I might start up a community page so that people can post what they make and we can share our works together. This one here is a little bit longer than all the other ones, so I think I'm going to file that one down just to shape it to match the other ones a little bit better. But aside from that, I think I'm done. All right. Have a good day. Bye. Just kidding. I'm popping in with one more thing. I put Protect-A-Clear in a nail polish bottle. It was entirely empty. It was like a one that came empty. And since this is bare copper, I'm going to paint that on the ear wire, specifically the ear wire, so that when it's in someone's ear, it's not going to turn their ear green, nor will it rapidly tarnish. This will all develop a patina over time, but especially this part and then down the end, I'm going to coat in Protect-A-Clear. You want to put it on, let it dry for an hour. You could put a second coat if you want, and then let it dry for an hour. And then it should be cured after 4 days. And you want to use use this in a well-ventilated room. All right, bye.